Hey, welcome back to the mid-season. What is this? I'm gonna guess this is episode 14, but if it's not, I'm totally wrong. That's fine. Um, we're playing Out of the Park Baseball 19. We're the White Sox. It's 2021. It's not mid-season, it's April, but Steven Matz is back from his year-long injury, and now it's a question of, because of his ratings, unfortunately, and how far they've come down, the fact that he's fragile, and the money left on his contract, which really isn't as bad as it looks because the Mets cover 75% of it. He just has no place in our rotation right now, so it's just a question of can we trade him and get rid of his money. So these are the teams that are interested in him. Those are the Dodgers, Rangers, and Rays that stand out to me. So I'll be looking to those three as potential trade partners, maybe the Athletics as well. Yeah, and we'll see. Maybe I'll have to send along like a small prospect in order for us to get rid of the Matt's money, which isn't that bad. But I still would like to get rid of him if possible. So let's get to that. Okay, I found the trade we're going to go for. Unfortunately, we will have to send away Trevor Cad. It was between him and Lifriere, and ultimately I decided to go with Trevor Cad instead just because of his struggles in A-ball. So send away Trevor Cad, send away Josh Day as well, who's pretty much a nobody, no problem there. Hasn't even played since 2019. He was a minor league free agent signing, so no qualms with that. And then we send away Matz. We don't have to eat any money, which is good. And we'll get back this guy who is basically nobody. So we basically send away CAD and relieve ourselves of $8 million of cap over the next 3 years. So obviously our assistant GM isn't happy with it, but it gets rid of Matz. The whole Matz thing was a failure after that injury, unfortunately. So right now we can cut our losses and at least have a clean slate as far as that goes. So that is your deal. All right, I will see you guys at the draft, probably. Okay, we are not at the draft. I lied. We have reached May 7th, and right now I'm going to make what is a big-time decision, kind of a historical one for our club. We have both of our catchers struggling right now, in the forms of Castro and Perez, neither doing particularly well right now. I guess if I had to choose one, Castro is doing better than Perez. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to probably have to release Perez. Because I don't think there's any way I can send him down to Charlotte. Oh, I can. Okay. Huh. I thought he would have some sort of option where I couldn't do that. Okay. Well, that makes my life a lot easier. Because we are going to be calling up Shea Langeliers. Now, he's had only 100 plate appearances at AAA, but he's raking, and it's clear to me that he is ready. He was our number 2 overall pick in 2019, and now he's making his debut in May 2021. So, yeah, he pretty much rocketed straight through the minors, and yeah, he's awesome, and he's going to be our everyday catcher. So, welcome to the bigs, Shea. Okay, we are here. It is June 4th, and it is time for the annual first-year player draft. But now we can check in on the team, for at least for a little bit. We are 37-19, second in runs scored, third in runs against, and with a 6-game lead ahead of the Cleveland Indians. So, all in all, things are going, I would say, incredibly well. Hard to really complain about any aspect of this team. Our stolen bases have also come up. I've done that by introducing some game strategy for specific players. So I've said, I want Moncada to steal more often. I want Rutherford to steal more often. And as well as Gabriel Maciel, I actually asked for him to steal more often too. So, yeah, pretty cool. As far as, who's hot right now, how's everybody doing? We can just check in real quick. So Castro's our backup catcher now. But he's, hopefully still going to be all right about it. His expectation is still starting lineup, so we'll see how that lasts. Langeliers has been brought up. He has 122 OPS plus in his first 19 games, so he's been pretty awesome so far. Gavin Sheets in his first full year. He's hitting 107 OPS plus, on pace for 29 home runs. Has played in every game. Honestly, not a terrible outcome for him. He could be better, but he could be a lot worse too. Moncada is starting to heat up. He had maybe a not so great start to the year, but now he's really getting into it. And 125 OPS plus for a second baseman is amazing. And yes, on pace for 29 home runs, which would be a career high. And also on pace for 26 stolen bases. So that's sort of what that game strategy is doing for him. Eduardo Nunez has just been a bat and not a very good one at all. He's hitting terribly, but you know what? He's just here to. I don't really have, he's no better than anyone else, I guess, would be my point that I'm trying to get across. So, as far as the guys in AAA, so I don't mind just having him on here. We have prospects who could serve this role, but I'd rather those prospects be getting playing time in AAA. So, Nunez is just here to pinch hit if needed. Swanson, he is, he's getting on base at a higher rate than he ever has, and his average is there, but he's not slugging at all, really. He's only on pace for like 6 home runs, which, he's hit 16 and 15 the past 2 years, so. But you know what, on pace for 2.7 wins above replacement, so he's playing solid defense at third, can't complain there. Someone who is hitting pretty well is Simmons. Simmons is 98 OPS plus, and he's hitting 313 average, so not really walking, but still on pace for 2.8 wins, and I'm glad we've signed him because I don't think Alexander is still necessarily close to being our guy. Vielman's been our backup. He has, he's been hitting badly, but he's not brought here to hit. He's brought here to play defense, so I'm okay with him. Jimenez is, Jimenez is starting to do it, guys, and it's not pretty. Like 295 OBP isn't pretty. 257 batting average isn't pretty, but what is pretty is a slugging percentage that starts with the number 5. And what's also pretty is also being on pace for 40 plus home runs. So this is kind of what we wanted from him. And I still don't know what his long-term future is because of guys like Steele Walker who pose a threat to his corner outfield spot. But it's good to see him at least playing well. And we've been waiting for that for a long time, basically since the series started. So good to see him hit home runs. Miso, talked about it a little bit already. He's getting on base. He's weird. He's almost too good to be a backup outfielder. He should probably be starting on most teams, but we have Rutherford in center, so might be wise to trade him at the end of the year once his Rule 5 stuff expires, his limitations. Rutherford's on fire. Rutherford's 128 OPS plus. He's picking up right where he left off, and in fact, he's been even better. He's on pace for 38 stolen bases and only 3 caught stealings, which is amazing. This guy, his defense is on point. He gets on base. He hits for average. He hits for enough power. Like, what's not to love? This guy's pretty much a perfect ball player. Big success there. Ian Happ's doing about what I wanted him to, which is great. So he's been, getting on base, hitting for average. He's got enough pop to make it work, and on pace for 3 wins, doing his thing in a corner outfield spot. And Willie Calhoun is an absolute monster. I mean, he's on pace for 55 home runs. So far, he's got 19 home runs in 55 games. So his OPS is 1,000. And he has been primarily our DH this year. He was our first baseman last year, but Gavin Sheets can play a better defensive first base than him, so he kind of becomes the de facto DH after the Okimi trade. As far as pitching goes, rotation's looking nice. Ruiz is an interesting case. His ERA is 5, and his ERA plus is average, slightly below average. But all his peripherals are insane. He's got 71 strikeouts and 7 walks. So I'm not really worried about him at all in any way. I think he's pitching a lot better than his ERA suggests. I've moved Adbert Alzolay up to the number 2 spot because he's been on fire this year. He's been brilliant, to say the least. I think he has a good shot at being an all-star this year. We'll see, though. Daniel Norris has been good, sticking in that 3 spot. Sonny Gray, he's getting a little BABIP lucky there. His FIP isn't that great. His FIP's around 5 right now. But, he's still pitching pretty well. And I've moved him down to the number 4 spot. I don't know if we're going to pick up that option for him or not, but either way, I have to say I've been pretty happy with what he's given us these last 3 years as a member of the White Sox. So definitely that was a good contract to sign. And then Brad Peacock, who we traded for, he's also pitching pretty solid. ERA plus is 111, and on pace for a 2-win season. So and also on he's 6-1, so I gotta be pretty happy with him as well. We're paying him $4 million this year and $4 million next year, with the Astros covering 60%. In the bullpen, the very slapped together bullpen, you know what? It's actually going all right. Jace Fry is kind of resumed where he was last year. His ERA is a tick above 4, but when you look at his BABIP, you're like, okay, that's not going to last. So he's been doing a solid enough job as a stopper. Max Fried, I think, has been pitching quite well. He might be the best reliever we have. He's on pace for 118 innings, so he's become this amazing sort of like swingman, long reliever type who we can bring in, to pitch, 2 or 3 innings per appearance. So really pleased with him. He would have had a spot in the rotation if we hadn't traded for Peacock. Alcantara is also pitching very well. His ERA is right at 2 there. Brian Clark, his strikeouts are there, so we're leaving him up for now. But overall, I would say bullpen's been pretty good. We just brought up Guduan because Funkhauser was struggling, so I made that swap, and Guduan was tearing it up in AAA, to say the least. So made that swap. Now let's check in on prospects. And yes, it's an interesting sort of thing we have going on, because some of them seem to be getting hurt, which is unfortunate. Okay, so these guys are all rookie ball. They haven't played yet. James Bell's ratings have come up a bit, his eye in particular. He's hitting quite well in A-ball. He could be due for a promotion to A+ soon. Trevor Cad we traded, so unfortunately he is not on the list anymore. Jared Campbell in A-ball, he's playing decent, 89 OPS plus, but he plays a middle infield spot, so he can get away with it a little bit more. Van Kohler, he must be playing some insane defense, because he's 97 OPS plus, but he's on pace for 5.8 WAR, so his defense must be out of this world right now. But I don't know why is he unhappy. Oh, the team record is okay, so they must be struggling down there. I haven't looked at the records of the affiliates. Sam Bagwell, who was our first round pick, 2020, is he also unhappy because of the record? Yes. Oh, okay. We should find a way to, maybe I should sign some minor league free agents just to bolster those lower levels. But yeah, he he's pitching pretty solid, I would say. The walks and the strikeouts are concerning. He probably needs a good bit of time in A+ ball just to figure things out at this level, but he's only 22, so no complaints there. Tim Cate is just got back from his injury, but I just think it's unfortunately over for him with that injury. It really kind of killed his long-term hopes for the majors. Thomas Dillard, blurred vision, interesting, weird. Okay, Dylan Lufriere, who we decided not to trade, although we could have. He's doing decent enough in A+ ball with Winston-Salem, although maybe not the most exciting major league prospect. Pimentel, he's struggling to hit in A+ ball, and his age, I think he may be best off with just a demotion to single A Kannapolis for right now, just to get it back together a little bit. He could be up in A+ ball pretty soon, back up, so I'm not too worried about him. Mason Ditterberg, he is his walks need to he needs to stop walking so many people. If he can bring that walk rate down to like 4, then he'll probably be pitching all right. Like I said, I don't know. I think he projects more as an amazing reliever than a starter in the majors, but he may surprise us. The fact that he's worth 1 star is good at age 21. Trent DeVoe. Trent DeVoe's stats have come up just a teeny bit, which is nice too as far as his projections go. He is league average hitter right now in AA, which is pretty good considering he's just turned 21. And the defense he plays with his speed, I mean, he's an exciting player. The guy's electric, so got to keep an eye on him. Joe Gray Jr. Joe Gray Jr. is hitting pretty well, 111 OPS plus. He's shown some pop, And yeah, I mean he's the most exciting outfielder in this system, I think. So stoked about him. Blaze Alexander and Cody Deason are unfortunately both hurt. Deason will miss 4 to 5 weeks. Alexander's already missed about 4 to 5 weeks, so he still had only 20 games in A-ball this year, but he was doing well in them. I just hope he doesn't get like this sort of injury prone. This injury proneness. I hope he doesn't. I hope he isn't fragile by the time he even gets to the majors. But his potential contact has gone up +5. I think that might not be true. I feel like it's gone up though, and his contact has gone up from 40 to 45. So that's a really good sign right there. Yeah, excited about him, but don't know when he hits the majors. And then Steele Walker is he's hitting all right, 119 OPS plus. If he were hitting, like, if he was insane right now, he would definitely be knocking on the door for the majors. But with Jimenez doing his thing, probably best to leave Walker down there in AAA for now, although I do really like him. So yeah, that's it for our prospects. I have to offer Sam Dexter. Does he not want to play for us anymore? I thought I offered him already, but we'll offer him one more time. Yes, so let us get to the first-year player draft. Okay, Toronto has picked this guy, Kevin Maines. He looks pretty stellar to me. But he's Toronto's first overall pick. Now we will skip to the 23rd pick, which is our first pick in the draft. All right, we're here in the first round with Harland. I think this would be Fionn maybe because he's Canadian. If not, it's like Phil on or something like that. Phil-in. Not the flashiest first round pick, I don't think, not the one with the highest upside, but college pitcher, high work ethic, so that sort of makes him a really solid pick as far as his floor goes. It feels like he's got a good shot at making the majors. So yeah, I'm going to go with him. Not really any weaknesses to his game, and I also like the fact that he is a lefty. So we are going to draft him. After much deliberation, I'm going to go with the center fielder Porter Brown in the second round. Once again, maybe not the most exciting ceiling, but I like the fact that he's high intelligence, that he can play solid center field defense. Maybe he'll, progress a little bit more as a hitter than we think, and then in which case we'll have a real prospect on our hands. So I'm going to go for Porter Brown in the second round. Okay, third round here, and I'm going to go with a name that I probably can't even pronounce. Kayvon, or Kevin, but I'm going to go Kayvon, whatever, Bougie. It's probably like Bouger or something like that. But yeah, I just feel like good stuff potential. Fastball is already 55, already a plus pitch by Major League standards. College pitcher. So yeah, interesting pick for sure in the third round, and we'll go for it. Man, the Yankees with the pick right before mine, they poached my pick. I wanted to draft this guy. I thought he was really intriguing. No discipline at all, obviously, but everything else looked really solid, so I'm a little peeved by that. Okay, so in the fourth right here, I think I'm going to go with Cole Wagner and probably try to convert him into a right fielder of sorts. As you can see, he has some potential as a hitter. He already has 40 contact at age 18, which is a solid sign. And 60 power potential. Seems like he could become a solid enough hitter for us. So, in the fourth round, it's always going to be kind of slim pickings, but we're going to go with Cole Wagner. Okay, and I'm going to finish off the fifth round here with Josh Wheat. He has some contact and eye potential, and the fact that he's only 18 tells me, maybe he, has some potential to grow either of those. If he gets some gap power with that 70 speed, his outlook could change quite a bit, and he has high intelligence, which helps a little bit, or at least it can. Solid enough defensively, so we're going to go with him in the fifth, and then I will do 10 rounds after that, but that's off camera, so that'll end the draft for us. Okay, quick mid-year update before the All-Star break. We are 49-30. 3.5 game lead over Cleveland. Brad Peacock has strained his forearm, so he will miss the next 3 to 4 weeks. That allows us to insert Max Fried into the rotation, so I'm not too worried about that because Max Fried's been pitching pretty well out of the bullpen as a long reliever to begin with. I have just received my mail with my mid-season review of goals, so we will take a look at that. Reinsdorf is happy with our team record. Upgraded position, he sees the improvement, but Eloy isn't quite a top 6 left fielder like he wants, so maybe he will be at the end of the year. He's been he's been hitting better. As far as improved team stats, we're 7th in stolen bases. He wants us top 6. Will we get there? I'm not sure. Increase attendance. Attendance is increasing. That's a good sign. I feel like we could have reached this goal already, but I jacked up the ticket prices, so I wanted the money. And then improve your draft record. That's a long-term goal, but at least we have Langoliers up now who will help accrue some war for us because we did draft him. And so that's your mid-season review from the owner. So far, I would say he's still pretty happy with us. So also one more thing, I did go look at international amateurs because that period is just open, but I didn't feel like any of them were necessarily must-have. So generally what I do is I'll sign one guy for I'll shell out the full $3 million budget, but I'll only do that once every 3 or 4 years. So just waiting for some sort of elite prospect, and I didn't see anyone who was necessarily I had to have. So so I'm gonna skip that for now. So I will see you guys at the All-Star break for real this time. Okay, awesome. We are here at the All-Star break just to finish things up for this episode. We are 60-34. Runs scored second, runs against first, so all in all, team is looking awesome. Not really any real weaknesses right now. I guess we could hit a few more home runs, but really can't complain at all. And we've opened up a 6-game lead on Cleveland now, so hopefully that will be key for us and we can make the playoffs off of that. But I just thought I would take this time now to look at the All-Star Game rosters and see which White Sox made it, because I'm hoping we might have quite a few All-Stars given the team's performance, and some of these players have done really well for us. So let's take a look at the rosters right now. Interestingly enough, Matt Andrees, I'll show you guys real quick, in his last start of the before the All-Star break, he threw a perfect game against us. I just saw that pop up in the mail. I was like, oh shit. You don't see that very often. So good on you, Matt Andrees, for making your first All-Star game and also throwing a perfect game. Ethan Hankins made the All-Star game. That's pretty interesting. He was the first overall pick of 2018 draft by the Tigers, and now he has an All-Star Game appearance at the young age of 21, so that's looking like a solid pick by the Tigers right there. Marcus Stroman will be your All-Star Game starter. He's having quite the season so far, very impressive now with the Angels. Daniel Norris makes his first All-Star Game. That's pretty cool. If you had to tell me, one of your starters will make the All-Star Game this year, I would not have said Daniel Norris, but you know what? He's pitching pretty damn well, and he definitely deserves it. Okay, let's see. What do we have position players? So Willie Calhoun makes it as a DH. He slowed down a tad bit offensively, but he's still hitting pretty awesome. He's on pace for 41 home runs, so he makes it as a DH. Blake Rutherford makes the All-Star Game. 5-win season right now. He's absolutely on fire. I mean, he could be a 30-30 player easily, and just doing everything right. Can't do anything wrong right now. Interestingly enough, Trout will get the start ahead of him, though. So Trout's also having a massive year, so can't really complain. Not really much between the two of them. Is that it? That would appear to be it. I'm a little bit bummed out by that. I thought we'd have a few more, but 3's not bad. 3's definitely not bad. Who is worth pointing out here? I guess Lindor is still having a massive year, as he always does in OOTP. Bryce Harper leads the American League in WAR. It looks like he is on pace for arguably his best season yet. We'll see how it turns out, but pretty awesome for him. Now we go on to the National League. Syndergaard gets the start. I feel like Syndergaard always gets the start. I feel like he started like the last 2 or 3 All-Star games for sure, and he's just doing what he's been doing in this save, which is he's just been absolutely tearing it up. So good for him. Let's see who else is looking hot right now. Corey Seager's having a pretty monster year. This guy Taylor Trammell. And Juan Soto is also having another monster year. After last year, he was pretty massive too. Bellinger has 35 home runs. Actually, has 37 home runs, so that's pretty ridiculous. And so yeah, let's take a look at the standings of the league real quick too. So Mets have opened up a huge lead in the NL East. Reds and Cardinals duking it out for the top of the Central. Dodgers appear to be the best team in baseball right now. They're at 71-25, which is absolutely ridiculous. So no one's going to catch them in the West. They already have a 28-game lead at the All-Star break. AL, we've talked about already. White Sox with the lead over the Indians. Yankees with the lead over the Orioles right now. Rays also within striking range. And then in the AL West, that is led by the Angels with the Astros lurking behind. Okay, so I think that's it for this episode, guys. But thank you for watching the series. And hopefully when I see you guys in the next episode, we will be in the playoffs. All right, peace.